feel the need for
DVG.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's me, Gimpy, and that's right. I've got a little Hornet Leader here for you. Hornet Leader by DVG. It's a solitaire game based on carrier aircraft, you know, F-18 Hornets and Harriers and a bunch of other stuff, A-7s, you know, cool things. DVG games, of course, it's solitaire. Got a whole bunch of cool stuff with it. We're going to go over it here in a sec. I'm still working on that project I've mentioned to you guys before. It is in the works. It's taken a little longer than I anticipated, but I'm hoping to be done with it here in a couple of weeks. But I was taking a break from it this evening. I'm like, okay, what am I going to play this evening to kind of wind down from what I've been working on all day? And I thought Hornet Leader would be a good idea, so I figured I'd go ahead and film it for you guys while I was at it, since, you know, if you're looking for something that's fun, tactical, you know, DVG stuff works, and it's easy. You don't have to burn your brain. That's one of the things I love about their games, is it really doesn't bog you down. You can just take and roll some dice, move some counters around, have a good time. The sequence of play is always on the board, every one of their games, so it's always easy to play. And most of them operate off the same relative principle. If you've played one of their games before, you're going to have a good understanding of how to play this one. This one is a little older than some of the others you've seen me do. It's a big one in their series. Hornet Leader is actually a lot of people's favorite. They like it's in the aircraft series. So there's Hornet Leader, Thunderbolt Apache, Phantom Leader, and I'm thinking that's it with their air series. I'm sure I'm missing one of them. Corsair Leader is coming out soon, though. I am highly excited about that. They're going to have Corsair Leader World War II, and it'll be similar to this, but there are a lot of different aspects to it, you know, improved components and things. I'm definitely excited to check that out. They Dan mentioned that they're going to have Marine components, because I'm doing the Marine campaign for you guys in this. You guys will see that in a sec. But let me mention real quick, I'm doing my giveaway here in, like, it's 3 or 4 days until the end of the month, so I'm going to be doing that giveaway here soon. Make sure you guys take and enter for your chance to win that. It's Fields of Fire by GMT, 2nd edition. All you got to do is comment on the video and subscribe to the channel to be entered for your chance to win. I'll do a random number draw for all the people who are entered and do it at the end of the month. So make sure you guys comment and enter for your chance to win. Alright, now I'm just going to be doing a basic run through for you guys, but I did want to mention there is an expansion for this game, Hornet Leader, the Cthulhu Conflict. Really neat, adds a whole lot of interesting stuff to it. And of course you're fighting, you know, cultists and evil monsters, and it adds insanity, you know, all the Cthulhu type mythos that you've seen in plenty of other games before. You know, you can see the little monster counters here, but it adds a I'm blanking out on the word, a drone type vehicle, so unmanned vehicle, so you don't have to worry about stress with these guys. So that's why his cool level is just, you know, nothing. And they also add a nuclear weapon to this game, so that's really cool. It's like a one-hit wonder. You take and drop it and it wipes out everything in one go, so that's a really cool thing they've added to it. This playthrough, like I said, I'm not doing Cthulhu. I'm just doing the basic setup. I'm doing Iraq because, you know, I served in Iraq. But if there's a lot of interest and you guys want to see a playthrough of one of the Cthulhu missions, leave a comment, let me know, and I'll take and do a playthrough of that. It's really cool, neat addition. Love to see him do other additions like that to, you know, Sherman Leader, Tiger Leader, or any of the other Leader series. But I'm going to take and pan the camera over now to the campaign sheet. We're going to go over some of the numbers there real quick, what all that stuff means. Then we'll take and set up our planes, and we'll do a little dogfighting here. Alright, now when you start out, you're going to take and pick one of your campaign sheets to go with, just like any of the other DVG games. It's going to give you your SO points and your specifics for it, just like what you've seen in plenty of the others. Iraq here, 1991. This is the introductory scenario to kind of be the easier one, help you kind of work your way into it. On your left side here, you're going to have your little overview what, where, when, how, why, all that good stuff. Over here on the right is going to be a picture, and there's a deck of cards, and each one of the cards is numbered, and it's your targets, okay? And you can see they're numbered all the way here on the different bands, so you know when you're attacking a certain area, the targets that are there are the ones that are listed. Now, since I'm doing a Marine campaign instead of a naval campaign you would have all the targets down and you would select from them all at once. A Marine campaign you have to do in bands. So you'll see when I'm going through my target cards over here in just a sec that I'm only going to have 10, 56, 53, 20, and 57 in there, and I have to defeat half of those rounded up, so 3 of them, to take and move on. Once I do that, I would take and add in the ones from the second band, do the same thing, and continue on from there. It's how they've got the Marines to set up. Marines can also use different aircraft. They're pretty much using F-35s or the Harrier. Was it AV-8B is what they're using. But of course, yeah, I got to support the Marines, so I got to use that. Right below that, here on your campaign map, you see it says WP and stress. All right. So when you run your mission, your WP means weight points. There's a penalty so the farther you're going out because you're using more fuel, right? So right here in this early band, the penalty is 0 because we're right here next to the base, so we can load up to our max. But if we were going a little farther, well, we're going to be reduced 1 weight point because we're having to carry extra fuel to get to these missions, and then 2 points, 3 points for the farthest group out. Now you can counteract that with tanker. You spend SO points, and it's 1 point per plane per mission. So if you had 4 points going out on one of these 4 missions, you spend 4 points, and it removes the weight point penalty. So if you've got the extra SO points to spend, definitely worth it, so you can bring the extra weapons and ammo that you're going to need. It shows stress down below it. Real easy. That's just how much stress you're going to get when you complete the mission in that zone. So farther out, more stress. Typical DVG mechanic. Below here, standard weapons and special weapons. These are the ones that can be used in the time frame of the campaign that you're selecting. So, higher end, newer weapons you're not going to be able to use. Obviously, the nuclear bomb isn't in this one because it's in the expansion. The standard ones, you can load up as many of those as you want. No issues, no problems. Special weapons cost SO points. So if you select these, you're going to pay 1 SO point per weight point cost of the weapon. So if it costs 2 weight points, it's 2 SO points to load it up. So some of your higher end weapons, you got to think twice because you're paying for them to use them. Over here on your campaign side, it gives you your basics, your score, how many victory points you need to take and get what evaluation for either a short, medium, or a long campaign, how many days the campaign is, and then how many SO points you're going to get throughout it. Now, when you're selecting your aircraft, we're going to touch on this a little more when we pan back over there to our aircraft, but they use I think it's the F-18C. I have to look in the booklet to remember specifically, but one of the F-18s to determine the baseline aircraft. And if you pick a worse aircraft than that, you get bonus SO points. If you pick a better aircraft, then you pay SO points. So the Harrier is actually considered worse than the baseline of the F-18. So I got, since it really didn't matter which campaign, I just okay, I'm doing long, I got 12 points per Harrier that I selected, and each one of the Harriers cost 12 points, so you break even. You end up with just your extra SO points to spend towards whatever. Now, below here, this is a track you're going to keep track of on your campaigns. Your recon, you guys see on your little counters here, let me turn this one the right way, they've got little arrows pointing to the right, and it means you're going to reference the number to the right. Recon has to do with how many target cards you're going to draw and select from. So as you move this across, you get over here, the right number's 4, so you'll draw 4 cards instead of 3. Intel is going to change the amount of enemies you're going to find at the different areas. You definitely want to get that up if you can, so you're facing less sights and less bandits, and then a less combination of both once you get it far enough up there. Infra is infrastructure. So the more damage you do to their infrastructure, the less damage you're going to have to do to complete missions later on. So as you pop that up, you'll get up to the point where it's -1 hits to complete the mission, -2, -3, just depending. And I'll show you guys on our target card when we get over to that little selection point where you're going to find these numbers. Last little thing, good thing that they included here is just your little help sheet that's going to give you just some needed information, like your starting aircraft. You can only pick aircraft of a certain skill value. Like for a long campaign, I can only pick 1 veteran, 2 skilled, 6 average, 2 green, 1 newbie for the total aircraft that I'm picking. I can't take and just, oh, I want all aces. In fact, actually, you can't even pick an ace. You have to take and level up to that. And then it's got just other modifiers and little bits of information, like your SAW roll, which is your rescue roll for guys that get shot down, how bandits are going to move, SO point cost, just easy stuff like that. And both of these are just one-sided sheets. Now, we know what we're doing. Let's take and select our aircraft for our mission. Okay, since I'm just doing a one-off, basically a game, just playing it to have fun, I'm not bothering to fill out one of these sheets, but as always, there is a nice sheet that you can take and scan and print off, or print off from the internet to record all of your stats, you know, what type of campaign you're using, which campaign, how long, how many days, what happened on your mission, your pilots, their stress, their experience points, all that good stuff, your SO points. It's nothing that if you've played a DVG game before, you haven't seen before. There are some custom made ones, you know, player made ones out there if you want a different type. And then here at the bottom you got player notes, and this is a glossy laminate one that you're going to scan. So make sure if you just got this, you do not try to write on the single that comes with it. That's a copy one. You're supposed to print off copies. Now, like I said, for my campaign, since I'm doing a Marine campaign, I only have access to a few select types of planes, and it's actually just one type of plane, because it's either the AV-8B Harrier 2. You can see the aircraft flew from 1985 onward, but it's either that or the F-35, and obviously the F-35 wasn't around back in 91 Iraq, so I'm not using that. But I do have different skills. I'm going to throw the pilot cards here on the screen for you guys. Mystic here, for example, is one of my skilled ones. I picked a veteran, like I said, 2 skilled, and then I've got 4 average just to have them on there. I didn't bother to draw any other cards. And similar to what you've seen before, they've got their little stats around the card. They have a cool level here in the bottom, which will reduce their stress after a mission. And then your SO point cost is right there next to the name, right next to the date. So for a short mission, 4 points, medium mission, 8 points, long mission, 12 points. And like I said, I got a bonus of 12 points per one of these that I selected of SO points for selecting a long campaign and selecting these planes. So essentially they're free. I get to save those SO points to spend towards weapons and other things because these planes aren't as good, so I'm gonna need a little bit of a bonus. But they're Marines, they'll make up for it. Now, you're gonna have obviously your stress level, 0 to 6, okay, which means you're gonna use your top line. Speed, slow. Most of my planes, unfortunately, are slow. All slow or fast means is fast, you attack before the enemy. Slow, you attack after. Air to air, air to ground, you know, ATA, ATG. Those are your bonuses. And then if you're shaken, you'll start incurring penalties instead. Now, it lists down what you can equip on your plane below there and any bonuses that you have. This plane has a special skill called Nape of the Earth, which I remembered a second ago and I don't now, so I'll have to look that up when I'm switching over. And then the 25 millimeter cannon that it carries. Your guns tend not to hit very well. That's just a range of 10. or not range of 10. Yeah, I wish it was range of 10. It hit all over the board. A range of 0, but only hits on a 10. But you do get to use your bonus depending on what you're firing at. So if you're at a low level firing at the target, at the ground target you're after, this one would get a +3 to it. So they'd actually hit on a 7 or up. So that's actually not too bad for that cannon. What is it? Situational awareness is what's here in the top right. That gives you a bonus attack. Basically, if you're fast, then you can attack in the fast and the slow, or if you're slow, you can attack in the fast and the slow, but it's one counter that you would spend. So you get like a 1 off or 2 off, just depending on how many of those situational awareness counters you have. And then here on the bottom right, the number in the W is weight points, how many points of gear that the plane can carry. So that's your bombs and your missiles, your rockets, and all the other good stuff. We'll take and load up our planes here in a sec. Actually, let me take and... Ooh, what'd I flip over? Oh, I've got the ECM pods because they can carry those. That's basically their version of armor. It's your chance, your saving chance roll for your planes, and I put the ECM pods on everything because you want to have that chance. This is not like Sherman Leader or some of the ground combat games where you can take damage and have a track blown off. You can't have a wing blow off and survive in this. Generally, you're going to take stress. There is a chance if a roll goes between certain numbers that you'll be damaged, at which point you basically lose everything that's on the aircraft and you can try to fly away, or destroyed. So your aircraft can get shot down a hell of a lot easier than your tanks and infantry can get blown up in the ground combat games. Now let's pan back over and we'll take and show what we're going to load up on our planes. All right, I went ahead and drew my first 3 target cards. Now remember, like I said, I only had 5 to choose from instead of a bunch, all right? So the first band of target cards were here, shuffled up. I drew out 3 of them and I set them across, and I get to pick one as my target, okay? This little fighter sweep one, I was thinking about it for a second. I was like, no, that's not going to be good because I want you guys to see the ground target one. So I'm going to go for this easy one here, enemy troops. I should throw it on screen for you. You can see up in the top right, it says target number. Obviously 10, that's what we were talking about before, the 5 numbers that were listed out. You go see a picture of it, the name of it, and then here on the left side, you've got sights, bandits, and hits, all right? Sights is ground sights like AA guns and missile batteries and all that cool stuff. And it says app or, app or CTR. So it's going to be approach or in the center. So your approach is these 4 areas here around the center, and then obviously center is the center area. And that tells you how many sites are going to be in those specific areas. So we're going to have 1 ground site to worry about in each one of these areas, and then 2 are going to be here in the center area that we're going to have to take care of. Bandits are your air-to-air enemies, your planes. They're also going to be the same, with the exception there's only going to be 1 in the center. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 around, and then 1 more in the center. And then hits, that's how many hits this card takes to destroy. So we got to hit 5 times to take it out. There to the right of that number 3 with the little picture of the planes underneath it, that's how many planes you can take on this mission. So you can see I've got 3 laid out here, and we'll go over their weapons here in just a sec. Over to the right of that, it says VP. We only get 1 point for killing these guys, and infra is 1. So we get 1 infrastructure point on our campaign sheet there after we take this out. So we get to move that over, and that's where you're starting to get the bonuses there, where you got less hits to do on these. That's what I'm talking about. You can reduce the amount of hits it takes to destroy them, or reduce the amount of bandits and sites that they put out. Now, this you can actually do as a secondary. That means you can take it, you could pick another mission and then do this mission afterwards in a single day, right? Because a day is normally doing a mission. You can take a secondary mission after. So that's pretty cool if you want to do a couple of them. Stress -1, that will actually move a stress. Cool. Dispersed has to do with not being able, since they're kind of spread out, you know, they're trying not to get bombed as easily. So you're only supposed to be able to do 1 damage to these guys, no matter what type of munition you're using on them, with the exception of certain munitions that are designed to go after that. So I actually picked those for my bombs, so I can do more than 1 damage to these guys. And soft target means they're soft. I forget the specific rules on it. I think there's a bonus actually too on some of the things I selected against soft targets. Actually, where's my instruction booklet? It's driving me nuts. I can't remember soft off the top of my head. There is in the back a nice summary, as always, of everything, all the different munitions. It has a sample mission, all your different planes, and then what all that other stuff means. There are a few optional rules like doing night missions and things like that, so that's pretty cool. Oh, where is the thing that tells me what soft exactly does? I need to find that real quick so I can tell you guys without boring the living hell out of you. And if I don't find it in a second, I'm going to have to take and look it up. All right, let me find it real quick. Yeah, I forgot. It's in the front. I found it right after I paused the camera. Some weapons get a bonus to attack soft targets, and that's actually some of the weapons I picked. So that's, yay, awesome. Oh, yeah. Speaking of which, I just realized I meant to mention at the beginning, sorry I'm not the wife. Some people were complaining about Gimpy's ugly, hairy arms versus her. Yeah, I guess she's prettier than me, but my arms aren't ugly. Look at that. That's a pretty arm right there, man. You guys just kill me sometimes. She has been getting a kick out of it that you guys have enjoyed her videos. She just kind of enjoys guessing at what, you know, the game is and what it's about, who's in it, where it's located and stuff like that, and wondering if she gets it right after she's done. So she does hope that you guys have enjoyed those videos, and if you have, she'll do some more for you guys. All right, so we pick our target. These others stay active, and you can have some that will take and have a permanent lasting effect until they're taken out. So that can affect you just depending on, you know, what missions you're going after. So we'll take and set that there. Right above our event cards, we've got our mission laid out. And, oh, and like always, I love how they have this right here. Sequence of play. So you're just going 1, 2, 3, boom, 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 on down the line. And it walks you through the whole thing. And then when you're over the target, you're going to do it. It even has the ×5. You got 5 turns to do all these different things. Bam, you know. Awesome how they have this stuff set up. And what step are we on now? Yeah, we're still at the select target step right now. When it comes to, I'm going to do my assigned pilot and arm aircraft, and then we'll probably pause, and then I'll pick up with, I'm doing a touch out of order, but it'll be fine. I'm going to pick up with putting the sights down and then getting the guys into it. Now, I picked for my 3 guys, I've got Dino, was it Mystic? Yeah, Mystic, and Crispy. I don't know that I'd want the pilot name of Crispy. And Dino, since he's the highest skill level, has my flight leader symbol. Now, what I've gone for is I've gone for a couple. Dino and Mystic are going for kind of air-to-air, some air-to-ground attack suppression type deal, right? They're both set up with the same thing. They've each got an ECM pod, which, like I said, gives you a saving roll against attacks. Awesome. And then they've each got a couple of missiles. They have one AIM-9, and up in the top left of the corner, you see the 1, that's its weight point value. The 6 in the top right is the to hit number, so you got to roll a 6 or higher after modifications. The 1 underneath that is the range, so you can take and like hit here and then like adjacent to you. And high or low means it can hit targets high or low. Okay, or you can use it high or low. Yeah, you can use it while you're high or low. There are some that you have to be low to use, like these rockets here. Take and show that to you guys. That's the other thing. So, actually, I don't have 2 AIM-9s. I have 1 AIM-9 and 1 AIM-120, which is a little bit better. Also 1 weapon point. Now, these cost 1 SO point. Okay, so I had to pay extra for these. They're considered special weapons. and they hit on a 5 instead of a 6, and they are independent. So they're an air-to-air missile that if you have more than one of these, you could fire 2 of them at 2 separate air targets. So that's pretty cool. And then again, the 2 up is their range, and then high-low, where they can be used down below. So both of Dino and Mystic each have one of each of those missiles, and then they have 3 rockets each. Again, weight point, you can see it hits on a 7 range, and then fired when slow. But you see that S with the +3 means when you're making a suppression roll. So you can fire weapons, air-to-ground weapons, against a target to try to keep them from attacking. And if you hit them, instead of destroying the target, they just don't get to hit you. So, all right, cool. You can take and get them with their heads down, make it to where they're not firing at you. This weapon does that better than others, so it gets that bonus. That's why I gave them a bunch of them, because they can take and use these rockets not only to attack ground sites, but to suppress them as well. And I'm hoping I can kind of dip in, fire some missiles, some air-to-air missiles, take out their air power, and motorcycle driving by. And no, that's my loud-ass neighbor with his truck. Anyway, hope I can fire some air-to-air missiles, blow out their air cover, use the rockets to suppress and hit the target if I need to, because like I said, both of these guys are set up the same. But this one, Crispy, I set up as a pure bomber. He has 1 rocket just in case he needs it, and then the rest of it he is carrying these Mark 20s. Now these Mark 20s, you would think they don't hit that well because they're hitting on an 8 or an 11 on a 10-sided die. And I know you're going, 11, Gimpy, you're not counting too well. These are used against things that have dispersion. So you remember, they're dispersed. They don't have that. So this can cause 2 damage if you get that 11 roll, but it's good against soft targets. Against soft targets, it gets a +5. So that 11 comes down to a 6. That's not too bad. And then with my pilot's innate +2, that makes it to where I can take and roll a 4 up with this weapon to hit. That's not too bad to do 2 damage. And since it only needs 5 to be destroyed, I've got enough bombs to do it. I've got 4 bombs to do this with against soft targets. So I've got 2 set up as basically general hit everything, get their heads down, destroy what they can, fly in type stuff. And then 1 set up to come in low over the treetops, have their heads down, and bomb the hell out of them. Where's that thing about the bonus that they get? There is a bonus that the Harriers get. What's it called? The Nape of the Earth that they get that takes and makes them a little bit better. That's one thing. I probably would have put all these things right there at the back instead of having it kind of mixed around. Okay, should be right here at the very front of the book. Yeah, here we go. Special rules for the Harrier. Harriers flying at low altitude are assumed to be flying nape of the earth, treetop level. Low altitude Harriers treat sight and bandit damage results as if they were stress results. Nice. This rule has no effect on special event cards, and you gain, like I said, 4, 8, or 12 SO points for each Harrier you select for short, medium, or long. So, cool. These guys are harder to kill when they're flying in low, so maybe I'll take and just fly in low with all of them instead of coming in high and buzz, bomb everything I can, and then have my 1 bomber come in here and try to do as much damage as he can. I don't know. I like having these Harriers because I've got the extra SO points to spend on other things since I'm not having to put them towards, better aircraft. Now, they don't get to carry too much since they only have 6 points, but I think that I can take and get this all taken care of with this, especially since I've got the Nape of the Earth and the ECM pods, and you do have the ability to go evasive, which will get your guy a stress, but you take and roll 2 dice for the enemy attack, and you pick the worst of the 2. So there is the chance to take and do that. But all right, I'm gonna call it here. This is the end of my my setup video. We're set to roll. We're getting ready to go to our target bound. We'll do the usual thing. We're drawing a card, setting up, and all the other good stuff. So there's actually 3 card draws. There's one on the way, there's one when you get there, and then there's one on your way back. So that's kind of cool. I guess I love Hornet Leader, man. If you guys don't have it, get it. It is one of their better games. Everyone seems to love Hornet Leader. Like, I've seen people do reviews and playthroughs of Hornet Leader who aren't war gamers, people who aren't into, you know, the counters and the hexes and all the crazy stuff that the rest of us are, you know, normal people. and they love Hornet Leader. It's a good game. It's easy to play. It's quick playing. Who doesn't love fighter aircraft and pretending they're Goose and Maverick, you know, whipping through the clouds? But all right, we're going to pick up on the next one, set our sights down, and see if we can blow this set of enemy troops away. You guys take care. I'll see you in the next one.
Son, your ego is writing checks your body can't cash. You've been busted. You lost your qualifications as section leader 3 times. Put in hack twice by me. With a history of high-speed passes over 5 air-controlled towers and 1 admiral's daughter.